starting and scaling a business. This is the big one, and I'm not talking about some complicated tech startup. I'm talking about solving a problem people actually have. Look at your friend Sarah, who started making jewelry during COVID. She was bored, started selling on Etsy, made $50 her first month. Most people would have quit. Sarah didn't. She reinvested every dollar. Better photos, more inventory, paid ads. 2 years later, she's making $5,000 a month. Year 3, she hired employees and opened a real store. Now she's pulling in $2 million a year. Here's why this works. Sarah doesn't trade hours for dollars anymore. She built a system that makes money while she sleeps. That's the difference between having a job and owning a business. Jobs have income limits, businesses don't. Investing in stocks. Okay, this one's simple, but most people screw it up. In 1997, you could buy Apple stock for $4. Your friends would have called you crazy. Apple's dying. Microsoft is winning. But if you bought 100 shares for $400 and just held on, you'd have over $40,000 today. But here's where people mess up. They try to get rich quick. They buy high, sell low, chase hot stocks. That's not investing. That's gambling. Real stock investing is boring. You buy pieces of great companies and hold them for decades. When you own Apple stock, you own a tiny piece of every iPhone sold, every App Store purchase, every subscription. The company makes money, you make money. It's that simple. Real estate investing. Let me tell you about Marcus. Dude's a teacher making $40,000 a year. Not exactly rich, right? But Marcus bought a duplex for $100,000 with $20,000 down. He lives in one side, rents the other for $800 a month. That $800 covers his entire mortgage. So Marcus lives for free while building equity. 5 years later, he owns it outright and uses that equity to buy 2 more properties. Now he's got 3 rentals generating $2,400 a month in passive income. Real estate is beautiful because other people pay your mortgage while your property goes up in value. Plus, you get tax breaks. It's like having your cake and eating it too. Owning cash-flowing businesses. This is different from starting a business. This is buying businesses that already work. I'm talking about boring stuff. Laundromats, car washes, storage units, vending machines. Not sexy, but they print money. My buddy David owns 4 laundromats. Each one makes $3,000 a month profit. David doesn't wash clothes. He doesn't fix machines. He hired managers. He just collects $12,000 every month from businesses that run themselves. These businesses work because they solve basic needs. People always need to wash clothes, store stuff, park cars. It's recession-proof income that requires minimal effort once it's set up. Index fund investing. This is the boring millionaire path. Instead of picking individual stocks, you buy the entire stock market through index funds. You own tiny pieces of Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, and 500 other companies all at once. Here's the crazy part. Index fund investors beat 90% of professional money managers. Why? Because they don't try to be smart. They don't time the market. They just buy and hold forever. $500 a month for 30 years gets you over $1 million. That's assuming 10% annual returns, which is the stock market average. No stock picking, no market timing, just consistency and patience. Venture capital and startup investing. This one's high risk, high reward. You invest in baby companies hoping one becomes the next Google. Most will fail, but the winners can return 100 times your money. Peter Thiel put $500,000 into Facebook when it was just a college website. That investment became over $1 billion. One winner paid for hundreds of losers and made him incredibly wealthy. Venture capital works on power law returns. Most investments lose money, but the few winners are so massive they make up for everything. You need serious capital and the stomach to lose money on most bets. Intellectual property and royalties. Create once, get paid forever. That's intellectual property. Musicians get royalties every time their songs play. Authors get royalties from book sales. Inventors get royalties from patents. J.K. Rowling wrote Harry Potter and became a billionaire, not just from books. Movies, theme parks, merchandise, licensing deals. She created something once that generates income decades later. The beauty of intellectual property is it scales infinitely. One song can be played millions of times. One book can be sold to millions of people. You do the work once, get paid forever. Digital businesses, software businesses are money printers. You build software once, then charge monthly subscriptions forever. Every new customer increases your monthly income without increasing your costs much. Look at Zoom. They solved one problem. Video calls. Now millions pay monthly subscriptions. The crazy part, adding new users costs them almost nothing, but the revenue keeps growing. Digital businesses scale differently. You can serve one customer or 1 million with the same software. That's why tech companies have the highest profit margins. Acquiring undervalued assets. This is Warren Buffett's game. Buy dollar bills for 50 cents. Find stuff trading below its real value. Buy it cheap. Wait for everyone else to figure it out. In 1988, Buffett bought Coca-Cola stock when everyone thought the company was done. He paid $1 billion for shares now worth $25 billion. He saw value others missed. This requires patience and analysis. You need to know what something's really worth, then wait for chances to buy below that price. The profits come when the market catches up. Long-term compounding and reinvestment. This isn't a separate method. This is the secret sauce that makes everything else work. Compound interest is literally the most powerful force in finance. Money, making more money. Einstein called it the eighth wonder of the world. Here's why. $10,000 at 10% returns becomes $174,000 after 30 years. The last 10 years generate more wealth than the first 20 combined. Compounding works in everything. Business profits, real estate equity, stock dividends. The key is reinvesting instead of spending. Every dollar you reinvest becomes a worker generating more dollars forever. The real talk. Here's what rich people know that you don't. You don't pick just one path. The wealthiest people stack these methods. They own businesses and stocks and real estate and intellectual property. Jeff Bezos built Amazon, owns massive stock positions, buys real estate, creates patents. Multiple streams reduce risk and accelerate results. The magic happens when your streams feed each other. Business profits buy real estate. Real estate equity funds, stock investments. Stock dividends buy more businesses. It becomes a wealth machine. Your choice. Look, you now know the 10 proven ways to build wealth. The question isn't which one works. They all work. The question is which one fits your situation right now. Maybe you start with index funds because you're broke, but can save $500 a month. Maybe you buy a duplex because you understand real estate. Maybe you start a side business because you're entrepreneurial. The biggest mistake isn't picking the wrong path. It's not starting at all. Every rich person started somewhere with something sometime. The best time to start was 20 years ago. The second best time is right now. Because wealth isn't about luck or connections or being born rich. It's about understanding these 10 methods and having the discipline to stick with one long enough for compound interest to work its magic. Stop making excuses. Pick a path. Start today.